What's up, everybody? Supersmallchibiwolf here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Akira. Now, Akira is one of the most important and influential animes in anime history. It helped bring and make anime more mainstream in different parts of the world. And that's the thing I find interesting and cool, about Akira. And I found that out by doing research about the movie, kind of trying to get a feel of what the movie was about. I watched this movie a few times, last year in December, well, November, December, and then now. And so, yeah, around 3 times. And I want to say each time I kind of had something new to add to the review, which I'm happy about. So the first thing I want to talk about is the characters. The characters were cool, spunky delinquents, and each one has their own unique thing that makes them cool and lovable. First character I want to talk about is Tetsuo. Tetsuo, he is a guy that had a rough childhood, and due to this, he felt like he wasn't so liked and cared for. He had self-doubt, and but he was a strong guy and not a pushover. Throughout the movie, we see him slowly getting away from those he loves, and becoming an enemy to those he once held close to. To try to succeed and trying to find a hero and trying to succeed on what he desires. That's Tetsuo. And next character I want to talk about is Kaneda. Yeah, Kaneda. He was a strong and cool guy that had a cool motorcycle. He tries, he is one that looked after Tetsuo and more of one trying to protect him and trying to help him out, which results in Tetsuo getting mad at him at moments. But Kaneda does care for his friend in a brotherly way, and that's why he kind of puts up with his stuff and kind of helps him out. What I also like is his brotherly relationship with Tetsuo, and seeing that throughout the movie. The last character I want to talk about is Kaori. So Kaori, she was a nice girl that cared for Tetsuo. She was there to help and support him, and I like that about her. She was also great, and I'd say, one of my favorite characters within the movie. Now the other characters were cool, and I enjoyed them. I don't think I hated or did not like one character. I think all of them were pretty cool. So yeah. First thing I want to talk about, the next thing I want to talk about is the story. Now the story starts with a massive atomic explosion, and then later on there's a cool, intense motorcycle chase scene set in Neo Tokyo, a crazy and dangerous place where there are riots, protests, and crimes being committed everywhere. We are introduced to our protagonists, Tetsuo and Kaneda, two orphan delinquents that form a motorcycle gang. Doing this, there's a man who drags this kid, and eventually Tetsuo gets away from his gang and goes on chasing one of the rival gang members. He ends up hitting this kid and getting hurt. Then the police comes and takes Tetsuo and the mysterious kid away. We are also introduced to Shikishima, a guy that works with two kids, which kind of looks like the kid that Tetsuo, that they hit in the beginning of the movie. And yeah, what was it? I'm just gonna say how it is. They're kind of alien-looking creatures, right? That's the feel I get when I looked at them. So let's call them aliens, right? So to make it easy. So yeah. Back then we see the guy that works with the aliens, that look like the kid Tetsuo hits earlier in the film. Back to Tetsuo, he awakens his powers and turns against his friends in the city so he can go and hope to find Akira, the psychic weapon responsible for Tokyo's destruction, and Tetsuo also suffers from pain and hallucinations. Yeah. Eventually, he loses control and goes crazy, attacking the city, which results in Kaneda Akai and the government trying to stop him. And that was the story of Akira. Now, what I would say is, I like the story, man. Yeah, I think one thing about this anime is that, sometimes, I watch anime, I put it down and rewatch it and like it more, kind of appreciate everything else. And that's the thing about Akira. I watched it, a few times, and every time, especially the story, I enjoyed. and something I really did enjoy was the story, a lot, and the characters within the story. So yeah, the story I'd say is pretty cool. You know, now second thing the next thing I want to talk about is the music. Now the music was great throughout the movie. There are some good music, and the intro and outro has some cool music as well. Now I would say is yeah, for music they did pretty cool. I like the music, like how like the art style, and I said this about Venus Wolves, I believe. That I enjoy the classic look of Venus Wolves and Akira. You know, I don't know, it's just that type of style is one that I enjoy. Now, next thing I want to talk about is I want to bring this up. This is an interesting fact, but Akira is usually added as backgrounds of the 1980s, where what was it, city pop, right? And during the late 2010s, it started to pop up a lot of these city pop albums and all that. Like, for example, one was what was it? Wait up. Oh, I thought of it. One of these city pop albums what was it? Plastic Love. And the reason I bring this up is because a lot of times it is associated with this movie Akira, and you could see some shots being, put in to the background, of the songs, and that being around the same time, city pop being the 1980s, which Akira was 1980s. It was a little bit interesting fact because that kind of made like a comeback, city pop, and Akira being placed as one of the main things associated with it, like backgrounds and different scenes of the movie, and etc. So that's the thing that was I found interesting and I liked. So the movie is based off the manga written by the same guy who directed the film. Also, the art of Akira is cool, and I said this in Venus Wars, which I also brought up, but I think I wanted to bring it up again due to, nowadays I've seen, newer animes and all that stuff, and don't get me wrong, there's good ones with good, art and all that, but the classic look of anime is something I think would kind of, some people would say, for example, oh, the classic look of a PS1 game is kind of, you know what I mean? So in here I would say, well, a classic look of an anime like Akira kind of would be interesting to see it more modern look of that. Like how, for example, I believe it was what was the game that had the pixel art of the character, and then they kind of made it more modern. I don't know. There's a few games, but one of them was Super Mario 64 on the Super Mario Odyssey. Mario had the 64 look, but it was an Odyssey. So that's an example how I would see it kind of being, similar to that, but maybe it'll be better. So, not saying that Odyssey's 64 Mario is bad. That's pretty cool how they did that. But seeing how the art of Akira and seeing how some animes are now they do have cool anime looks, like the graphics and looks, but some of them are weird. In other words, bad. Yeah. So I wanted to bring that up. Now, also I want to say this is, I like how Akira has small details within the movie. From the neon lights to the club and where they hang out, and the look of Akira, like the Neo Tokyo in general, was really cool and something I did enjoy. Now, last thing I feel like everyone can agree is that Akira is either lazy or just sucks, because let me just say this, because there are two character designs, Ryu and the colon, what was it, the Kono or something like that. They kind of look the same. Okay, they like that's just stupid in my opinion. That's if anything, that's one of the bad things about Akira, is that, come on, like, why? I don't know. That's something that kind of within the viewings kind of made me like, yeah, I did not like that. That's pretty. It was just dumb in my opinion within the viewings. And I've seen this movie 3 times already, so in a row, you know, like what's weak? So I'm like, yeah, that's stupid. I'm sorry, but that's the only bad thing about Akira is that, in my opinion. Also, what else? Oh, this is what was it? If you did not know, Akira the anime movie is basically the first part of Akira the manga and then the last part of the manga put into one. Like from my research, that's what I've seen as well. So yeah, just interesting facts right there, and that was interesting to add within Akira review. Now I hope you enjoyed this review. Oh, I recommend watching. I like Akira, and I recommend watching Akira. It was a pretty cool movie, action and adventure and science fiction and all that. Made Akira really cool. I think that's, if you're into any of those genres, I think you'll enjoy this. So the animes I recommend are Venus Worlds because that was amazing and I kind of enjoyed that. I'd say it's similar to Akira as well. And Perfect Blue because it does have characters that deal with illusions and other similar stuff like Akira has. Also, I enjoyed that movie as well. One of my favorite movies, in fact. So with that, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope. What was it? Oh, one more thing I want to talk about Akira is that when I reviewed this movie a couple of times, is that I've noticed that Akira kind of compared to other similar animes within the time and other stuff that has that the link with phase and all that, is that I also discovered another movie of the second Bandeku or whatever. And I say, I don't know if that came before Akira or after, but I'd say throughout the 1980s in Japan, man, that character of the delinquent and all that. Like nowadays, the only character that I could think of within that is like the latest one, or is Ryuko Matoi from Kill la Kill. I don't know, man. Like that's just something I wanted to bring up before I end the review. Is that I don't know. I don't see a lot of delinquents in anime, the newer ones. Maybe it's because I don't watch a lot of big names, But I just wanted to put that out there. And there's a difference between being a delinquent and just being all white and an asshole. Okay, like there's a difference. Okay, so just wanted to say that before I end my review. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I recommend watching Akira. The animes I recommend watching are Venus Worlds and Perfect Blue because it does have characters dealing with illusions and other similar stuff like Akira does have. So with that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, bye.